Hello, my name is Davis and welcome to my kitchen in Los Angeles. Today I'd love to make for you a salad that is packed with flavor because it includes the Middle Eastern spice mix za'atar. And we're going to get to the za'atar in just a moment. Now, this might be a salad, but it involves a couple of techniques that are good to practice and even better to master, and we will get to those as well. First, I'm just going to whisk up a very simple vinaigrette. We're going to start with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of red wine vinegar, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, a couple grinds of pepper to your taste, and then we'll whisk in 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, getting this out of the way now just allows some of these flavors to blend, so we'll just put it to the side for our next step. Oh yes, that's going to be good. Next, we're going to supreme an orange. Now, this is a great technique if you don't know how to do it. We're going to come out with these beautiful, flawless segments. All you do is cut the bottom and the top off of an orange and then set the orange flat on your cutting board. You want to cut away as much of the skin and the pith as you can while leaving as much of the flesh of the orange. Now, this might take a couple passes. It's not super easy, but also not difficult. You just make your way all the way around the orange. And when you get to the end like this, we're just going to flip over the orange and get what's left at the top. If you have never prepared orange segments like this before, you're going to love learning this technique because it's very simple to do, and if you're making fruit salads, it's the best way to have beautiful, full segments of citrus, whether it's orange or grapefruit or lemon. I'm just going to go back and clean up some of the pith here because leaving any little bits of pith will make cutting the segments a little more difficult. That's pretty good. Over a bowl to catch all the juice, you just want to cut into the center of the orange on one side of the membrane. And then move your knife to the other side of the orange segment. Let me get rid of this little pith. And cut as close as you can to that membrane. And your orange segment comes right out. Now, if it brings with it a little bit of membrane, that's not a problem. Just slice it off. And you'll see that the orange segments drop right into the bowl without any problem at all. Now, this happens to be a navel orange, so it's a little bit more difficult, but you can do this with any variety of orange you like, and once you've mastered it, you're going to love it. Next, we're going to go on to making za'atar, the Middle Eastern spice mix. Now, za'atar can be made with several different recipes. It's a very ancient spice mix, and so you'll find a lot of different recipes and combinations out there. You can play with it and make it according to your taste. But there are some elements in za'atar that must be there. We're going to start with 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds, and we're going to toast these sesame seeds to bring out all the flavor. One moment, I need a pan. You can use a regular skillet, a non-stick skillet. You can use a ceramic skillet like I am. Put your sesame seeds into a cold skillet so that you don't scorch them. And then you're going to cook them over medium-low heat just until you smell them and they begin to turn a nice light golden brown. You want to watch them carefully. You do not want these to burn, and they may go quickly. I'm beginning to smell them. I'm going to let them get a tiny bit more color on them. This really brings out the flavor of the sesame seed, that distinctive sesame flavor that you recognize in sesame paste or tahini. That's what we're going for, to bring that out. And once you have it, really adds a lot of dimension to the za'atar. So we're lightly golden, and we're going to get these out of the pan right away so they don't scorch. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of minced fresh thyme, 1.5 tablespoons of minced fresh oregano, 1.5 tablespoons of sumac. Now, sumac is also a Middle Eastern spice. You may have heard of sumac. It's a pretty common bush, and the variety that grows in the Mideast produces a red berry that has a very tart, citrusy, bright flavor. This sumac is simply the dried and ground berries, and you'll find it in a lot of Middle Eastern cuisine. And finally, 1.5 teaspoons of Aleppo pepper, a variety of chili pepper that also grows in the Mideast, and this is also ground. You'll find it in hot, you'll find it in mild. Mild is best for this recipe. So we mix together the za'atar, and we're going to put it aside and let these flavors blend. On to the final step before we assemble our salad. Oh yeah. Now what I have here on a parchment-lined baking sheet is 8 ounces of feta cheese that has been cubed into about 1-inch cubes. We're going to do something a little unusual. We're going to coat it with 2 tablespoons of olive oil. We're going to toss them around. You can do that with your hands or a spatula. Get them so they're fully coated. And then we're going to put this feta cheese under the broiler. I know, it's unusual, but it really gives this salad so much flavor and individuality. So once the feta is all nicely coated, I'm going to stick it under the broiler for a minute or 2. You only want to leave it under the heat until you start to see flecks of color and the feta just begins to soften. You don't want that charred marshmallow look. And now the feta should be ready. Let's take a little look. Oh yes. You see, it's just begun to get some color on it. It's getting soft. It looks delectable. Now we'll set it over here and begin to assemble our salad. We'll start with the arugula, about 1/2 cup of thinly sliced red onion, and we're going to dress this just as much as it needs, not too much. And now we'll just check the seasoning by tasting it. I think it could use just a touch more pepper. Always good to taste before you serve. And then we're just going to add as much dressing as we need to lightly coat the arugula and the onions, not too much. That's good. And now we plate. I've got 2 plates, one for you, one for me. We'll start out with a little arugula and thinly sliced onion. And then we'll add our orange pieces. Let's see, that little orange doesn't want to leave. Great. And now we're going to drizzle the feta with just a touch of honey. And coat it with some za'atar. Now add this flavorful feta to our salad. Finish with Marcona almonds. And I want to be sure to thank Jeannie Kelly, a cookbook author and food blogger here in Los Angeles, for this incredible recipe. This isn't just any ordinary salad. This is packed with flavor, exotic, and delicious. Thank you. It was fun cooking for you. Bye.